This is the 500-watt direct drive kit from E-BikeKit. And it's pretty sweet. It's one that's a little bit easier to install. It's more affordable than some of the more advanced systems. Doesn't offer quite as many features, but it's also a little bit more sophisticated than some of the real entry-level stuff that maybe only has like an on-off button like the Lead Kit or Clean Republic Hilltopper. So it's kind of in between those, and it's just really cool. I've got it actually installed on a bike here, so it's all set up and you can kind of see just what it would look like. You've got the battery that's actually inside this nice toe peak bag, and they've got a special, they've kind of customized it. See, yeah, there we go. There's this grommet here so the cables can come out, but it just looks nice, right? And they're using a standard, actually it's a special toe peak rack where it slides on, which is kind of nice. All the wires kind of run down the bike like this. They've got this sort of control unit here, which is a little bit obtrusive. That's one of the sort of the visually, I'm not as, I don't love this, but it looks okay. You mount it like that, and if you get the wires taken care of by zip tying them, it can end up looking pretty nice. And again, you're sort of saving some money and taking advantage of a bike that you already own, and that might fit you really well. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into the specs on this thing. So it's the 500-watt direct drive rear hub motor there. You can see, and 500 watts is pretty good. They offer two different configurations. There's like a 36 volt or 48 volt battery, and depending on which one you get, you'll get more or less power. And it all sort of uses the same, LCD control center, and essentially you're just swapping out the battery. So this motor, it's neat. It's kind of modular in that sense that if you got another battery in the future, you could sort of use one or the other. It offers good power. It's fairly quiet. Being direct drive, it might not offer quite as much torque as a geared motor, but it does sort of, I don't know, there's fewer moving parts, so there's just these big magnets inside. There's a stator, which is like a piece of metal that electricity runs through it, creates an electromagnetic field, and that's what powers the bike, okay? But when you turn that off, the magnets are still in there, and they're still going against the stator, and they can repel, so that can create something called cogging, and that means when the wheel is turning and you're just pedaling the bike, there's a little bit of resistance. So I wanted to try to demonstrate that. I'm going to lift the bike up and spin the wheel. And you can see how it's slowed down, quicker than if it was a free wheel. Here's the front wheel, just to demonstrate that. So I just spin it and see how it's spinning a little bit without as much friction. Actually, the brake levers are catching up here, but you get the idea. It's not a deal killer. It actually still freewheels pretty well, but it's worth noting it is one of the sort of trade-offs between direct drive and geared. I'd already mentioned that the controller is sort of externalized here, and it just, it adds a little bit of bulk to the kit aesthetically. But they've actually upgraded it. The older controller units they were like 9 FET, and this one's 12 FET. And essentially what that does is it provides a smoother acceleration, and it allows more amperage to flow through this thing. And so instead of 20 amps, you're getting 22 amps. That just means the motor feels more powerful. So it's better. They've kind of upgraded that. The battery pack on this unit is a 36 volt 9 amp hour pack, and it's sealed lead acid. Okay, so this is a technology that, it's older than lithium, it's heavier, it's not going to get as many charge cycles, but it's much less expensive, and it still does a decent job. I guess it's kind of one of those trade-offs. They are working on some lithium products, but the price goes up, and I guess it's kind of up to you. This battery pack weighs about 16 pounds. This motor weighs about 12 pounds. So the way it's set up on this bike, you're adding close to that, getting up there closer to 30 pounds worth of kit to your bike, and a little bit of drag when you're pedaling without the motor on. Just keep that in mind. The really good thing is that you've got this nice control unit. So I've reviewed the trikes, and they don't have something like this. They just have an LED, like a voltmeter, that kind of estimates the battery level. This one's much more precise, and it's kind of neat because it also tells you top speed, distance you traveled, and it's got a bunch of like diagnostic stuff built in there. So if something's happening, there's a guide, and you can kind of diagnose issues. The other cool things that come with this kit are both a twist throttle and a trigger throttle. So that's awesome. You can use either one. They both come with the kit. They've also got these nice Tektro brake levers that have a built-in, obviously they pull your brake, but they also have a built-in sensor that cuts the motor so that if you're hitting the brakes, the motor won't be spinning and working against you. So that's a nice safety feature, and they're actually not very hard to install. You just sort of take the tumbler out. There's a cable inside your brake lever. Take the tumbler out, and then you just take the old levers off, put the new ones on, and you reconnect the wire. So it's not a huge deal. They've also sort of innovated this cable setup here. You can see there's these 3 different wires, and they're color-coded, and they snap together very much like a headphone jack. They're really water resistant, and so is this computer up here. And the whole kit is designed to be, value but durable. And the fact that you can either get a rear hub system like this or a front hub is nice. Again, for the trikes, you use a front hub a lot of times, but for a bike like this, it's kind of nice to have the rear design. You're just going to get better traction. And you do have to do a little bit more messing around to put it on, but you don't need a torque arm. Oh, actually, they do include it, but I think in general, it's just a more stable place to put a motor system, because that's where the torque from you pedaling is designed to go. It's just more reinforced in general. I think that's kind of it. That's a quick overview of how the kit works. There are, a lot of pros with this in terms of price, modular design. You can replace pieces, you can upgrade it. It's got the computer. So again, we're somewhere between the Hilltopper stuff that's just an on-off and something like a Bionics that has regen and pedal assist. That's one thing that this kit doesn't have. There's no pedal assist, but frankly, trying to install something like that it can be kind of tricky. So this is the simple DIY, get it done kind of thing. And they've been in business since 2008, and they offer pretty good support. Sounds like about 2-year warranty. So yeah, I'm gonna hop on and give you some idea of what the motor sounds like, what it looks like, and what it looks like to ride this thing. So there's the computer. You can press the button, and there's like a nice little blue backlit thing that comes on. So if you're riding at night, you can see what's going on. When you first start the bike, it goes to assist level 1. Now there isn't assist, so don't get confused. Basically what that means is just like level 1, power level 1. I tend to dial it all the way up to like 5 bars, and that means I'm going to get full power. And as soon as I twist that throttle, the bike will take off. So here's the motor. Pretty smooth, and again, not too loud. And the new sort of that 12 fit thing I was talking about, yeah, good power compared to some of the other kits I've tried. I think it helps to have a little bit of momentum, because if you're starting from standstill, since this is a direct drive motor, all you've got is those magnets repelling each other. You don't have the leverage of gears, and so a little bit of momentum going into a hill helps you out a lot. But once you're going, this thing is pretty powerful. Again, 500 watts. I'm just going to do a quick hill climb test. It's not the steepest hill, and I only weigh like 130 pounds, so keep that in mind. This is the direct drive 500 watts E-BikeKit motor. Here's the hill. You can kind of see in relation to the ground from standstill. Cool, so we climbed it. I think our top speed was like 7 miles per hour. So definitely like, struggling a little bit, and it got the job done. So yeah, take that as you will. Real quick, this is another example of the 500 watt direct drive motor kit, and it just sort of demonstrates the versatility of what these kits can do. And this is sort of like a chopper thing, and actually there's a video on YouTube of the founder of this company in his pajamas riding this electric chopper around, and it's just fun, you know, and same motor, but basically spoked into a different kind of a custom extra wide rear wheel. Got the battery pack, in this case, mounted mid-frame, so instead of that rear rack, keeping it kind of low and balanced. And then we got the twist throttle. And again, it comes with twist or thumb throttle, and this is simpler, it's an older design, so they don't have the same controller. It's only a 9-FET controller on this one, and it doesn't have the LCD screen, but it's cool. And it kind of gets you thinking about what creations you could come up with. So I'm gonna hop on this and give it a go, just for the sake of having fun. How to put your, yeah, there we go. Oh yeah. Feeling pretty bad right now. Pretty bad. Cruising around. I feel like I need some leather. Woo! Yeah, oh boy. So yeah, that's the 500-watt direct drive kit. The rear mounted design, again, it's going to be a little bit back heavy, and the lead acid batteries, I'm not sure how you would, they're bulky, you know, I'm not sure how you would mount those on the middle of the frame. Maybe if you had like a front basket. It's kind of up to you how you set this thing up. It's versatile, but it's not going to be the lightest electric bike, and it's not going to be quite as integrated, but it's definitely, you know, it's a middle ground. So yeah, for more pictures on this, full written review and others, check out ElectricBikeReview.com. See you there.